Perfect.
Go ahead.
So hello everybody and welcome to our webinar today. We have our MAPS coach, Monica Reynolds, with us today, and we are going to be going over how to hire and train the perfect real estate assistant. So just a couple of quick things. This webinar is being recorded. A link to view the recording will be sent out to everyone who registered for the webinar and everyone who even if you attend, you still will receive the recording. Please feel free to share this recording with those in your market center and spread the word about how amazing this webinar was today. I posted in the chat box a little message, so if y'all will check that, if you can see the chat box there. If you have any questions, please type them into the questions box, and we will be answering questions throughout the webinar. If you have any further, questions about, how to get more information, anything like that, please email us at fasttrack@kw.com. That's FASTTRACK@kw.com. And that is all for me. So, Monica, you can go ahead and get started.
I will do that. Hey, good morning, good afternoon. It is my privilege. I'm Monica Reynolds, and I am going to talk to you about hiring and training the perfect real estate assistant. So let's flip up to the first slide page, and let's move that along. So on this next page, it's going to be, Paige is going to move that. There you go. Thank you, Paige. And we're going to talk about the hiring process. Now, I'm going to highly promote that you absolutely go to Career Visioning. That is absolutely a must. And what I've learned over the years, there's some key mistakes people do in hiring. One is they hire too quickly. The second thing is they hire on the spot sometimes. The other thing is they don't check references, they don't check skills, and they don't really get into the life story of this person. So I'm going to go through a couple of things here real quick. So the ad in the MREA book is a great ad to use. In fact, it is one that I wrote in the 90s, and Gary took some of the phrases and used that also. So that is an ad that I absolutely promote. Basically, working in a fast-paced real estate office, I'm looking for someone who has excellent over-the-top computer skills. I want someone who's got a great speaking voice, that's confident. I want someone that looks professional. I know, don't judge me, but it's my office, and I need someone to walk in not with 19 earrings in their nose and, tattoos all over their arms and legs. That's not what I want in a professional office. And so I have certain criteria that I'm looking for, and I'm going to go through those. Now, you put the ad out, and you're going to say, well, where is that ad going to go, most people say. And I said, okay, I recommend Indeed.com. I recommend absolutely Craigslist. We've got great applicants from there. I recommend you putting it in an email in your database saying, thank you for your support. Our team is growing. We're looking for people who want a career in real estate, so you send it to your database. The fourth thing that you want to write down is that I want you to call your affiliates that make money off of every deal you do and say, I want 3 names by Monday of people that would be a great fit on our team. So whether you're looking for a buyer agent or whether you're looking for an admin and say they can have a job, I don't want to poach out of Keller Williams. I get the culture, but I want to know, who that would be a great fit. Have they been downsized? Are they in the title industry? Maybe they're looking for a career move. Who do you know? I want 3 names. I didn't say, can you think of 3 people and send them to me? No, I want 3 names by Monday at 12 o'clock because we're in business together and you're going to help me find this person. Now, the other thing is, of course, Facebook. You guys can all take care of that, do that. And then asking other people on your team to find those people for you. Put their feelers out. Who do you know? Who do you think would be a good fit? And then obviously asking your team leader. My team leader here in San Diego has been great about feeding me assistant leads, people who come and apply for jobs there just randomly sometimes, or they hear about, the market center and want to know if there's any jobs available, and he'll pass that information on to me. So think about who are all the people in your world and be asking every single one. And of course, Gary Keller's favorite one is to say, and Diana Kokoska's also taught me this also, and that is number one is when you're sitting in front of a seller or a buyer, hey, who do you know wants a career in real estate? Never miss those opportunities to find people. And here's another mistake a lot of agents make. Once you think you found the right assistant, you stop looking. You never stop looking. You're always looking. You're always top grading. You're always looking over the fence. Who else is out there? Never stop looking. Resumes. You're going to get a resume back, and you're going to look at a couple of things. There's a couple of things that I look at. Of course, neatness and appearance and things like that. I'm looking that they have not had more than 2 jobs in 2 years. I don't need a job hopper. Now, there may be, common sense, some circumstances, etc., that cause them to have several jobs. But if they've had more than 2 jobs in 2 years, I'm a little cautious. Now, I'm going to give you the over-the-phone interview questions. Now, I'm going to look at the resumes, and I'm going to teach you some things right now, so listen to this. You're going to get a bunch of resumes, and you're going to divide those up into 3 stacks. One stack is no admin office experience, 0. Second stack is admin experience. Third stack is admin/real estate experience. So they either have a license, they've had admin, so they have real estate and admin experience. Now, obviously, pile 3 is the one that I'm going to gravitate toward the most. However, there may be something in pile 1 or pile 2 that seems very interesting. So I'm going to select 5, 6 of the best, and then I'm going to call them. And I'm going to call them, and I'm going to interview them quickly over the phone. Why, you're saying? You know, that you've got to have them come into the office. Oh, yeah, they're coming into the office if I like the conversation. In my world and in your world, you should have a confident speaking assistant. As you guys listen to Paige right there with group, she has a very confident voice. You have to have someone who has some confident/leadership, tonality in their voice. And if they don't, you're going to have a problem fixing files, taking care of people, etc. So when I call someone, I would call them and I say, hey, Paige, it's Monica Reynolds. Thanks for that resume. Thanks for picking up. I know I probably may have caught you in the middle of a few things. Do you have 4 or 5 minutes? Did I catch you at a good time? So I'm going to ask for permission to speak to them. And they'll say yes or they'll say no, call me back at this time. I go, great, I can do that. Now, here are the questions I ask, and you're going to write this down. Number 1. Tell me about your job history. I've got your resume here, but I'd like to hear about it from you. Now, I am looking for this. I am looking for confidence. I am looking that they can speak over the phone clearly. They can think on their feet, and they're not going, well, let's see, I do not need to hear this because that's going to come across to my clients. I need someone who can think on their feet, has great tonality, and has a little bit of energy in their voice. They're excited to talk to me. Number 2, describe the perfect career for you. What are you looking for? Now remember, this is not going to take more than 4 or 5 minutes, and I got to hear their voice because I'm not going to step 2 until I hear this, all right? Then number 3 is, write this down. What are you the best at? From your previous coworkers, what would they have said you're the best at? Tell me about that. And then the last question, just curious, what are your hobbies? I've had people say, I don't have any hobbies. I've got, 2 kids at home. My hobbies are my kids. I go, excellent. I can understand that. That's fine. I just want to see that they can speak and come back with answers that make sense. Now, based on that, how they speak, and I can understand them, and they're not, I have to think about that. I'm not sure. I don't want to hear that voice. I want to hear confident voice that's got some personality, that's got some energy in it. And then I'm going to say, thanks for taking my call. The next thing I'm going to do, today is Thursday morning, I'm going to send you a personality assessment called a KPA. It may take about 40 minutes. You can't lose on it. It's just what it is just a personality assessment. I'd also like you to take a DISC, and that'll take another 20 minutes or so. So it might be about an hour of your time. Would you be able to get that back to me? It's 9:30 now on Thursday. Would you get that back to me by Friday at 5 o'clock? Can you do that? Yes, I can do that. If they say no, I go, great, tell me a time you can. Oh, I'll get it back on Saturday by noon. Perfect. So if we agree to the time, they say they agree to the time, I make a note of that on their resume. I don't get it back then, I don't call them back because they don't follow instructions. They didn't care enough to pay attention. They didn't put it on their radar. They didn't get it done. What I love is when someone does it immediately, and 1 hour later I've got it with a thank you note in my email saying, thank you for calling me. That was a great to talk to you. I look forward to our meeting. That I like a lot, because that's going to reverberate through your business. Now, when they come into the office interview, and I know Jeff asked me, will you get some meat? Yeah, you're going to get a lot of meat on this call, so hang on. When they walk into the office, they have to be, fairly dressed in business attire. I live in a beach community. You come in flip-flops, you come in with a sloppy shirt, or your hair's wet from the surf, you're not getting hired. You didn't care enough to pay attention. So the office interview is going to be quick sometimes, and sometimes it's going to be 45 minutes to an hour. So when they come in and they give me a firm handshake and they're dressed in business attire, we've passed the first test. Now, what I said is I don't want that limpy handshake. This is me. With the dead fish, I just don't think sometimes people are confident and they hand you that little slimy thing and it's just like dead in your hand. I don't want to grab a hold of a dead fish. I want someone who shakes my hand, looks me in the eye, and smiles at me, nice to meet you. That's what I'm looking for. And in the office interview, I go through about 32 different questions, and all of that is in the assistant training, but also you career visioning. You can get that. I'm going to have them come back for a second interview. You never talk money on the first interview. Never, never, never. The biggest mistake anyone makes is when the assistant says, so what is the salary? You deflect and you say, thank you for asking. I know that's important to you. Hey, our first meeting today is that you and I get to know each other. I want to know about you, and I want to show you who we are as a team. Now, in that interview question, you might want to make a note. Watch this question. So did you happen to Google me or look at our website? What if they say, no, tell me about you? Are you kidding me? You didn't even take time to figure out where you were going to go interview? Black mark. Very rarely have they got past that with me on that one. I like it when they go, yes, in fact, I wrote down 15 questions I wanted to ask you off of your website. Oh, okay, good, hit it. That's what I'm looking for. So first interview, nothing is discussed about pay. Second interview, you follow all the career visioning questions. You get them from mine on the training. You do not, under any circumstance, do not talk about pay on the second interview. You are selling the opportunity to work with you. You're selling the vision. You're finding out who they are. Now, on career visioning / life story, if you're not getting the life story on these people, you are going to get a big surprise sometime. I'm looking for victim and I'm looking for winner. Victim is, oh, then this happened and then that happened and oh yeah, and then this happened and then that happened, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, I'm watching Days of Our Lives on TV. Stop talking the drama. I want to know winner, 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 okay? No one tests the skills on number 7. Why? I have no idea. I highly recommend that. I train you how to test the skills. Things I'm looking for, can you put an Excel spreadsheet together? Great. Here's some information. Can you do a brochure? Here's some data entry. What CRMs are you used to? I also want you to type a letter. I'm going to read it out loud to you, and then I want you to type it. Dear John, it was great to hear from you. Believe it or not, I get HERE. There is a house that I want to talk to you about. There, THEIR. Now, you guys, these are all the wrong ways to say these things, and yet there are people who don't understand that, and they will be representing you. I had a guy I was coaching there for a while, and we missed this, but somehow or other his assistant couldn't spell to save her life, and it reflected poorly on him. So you can't have that happen in your office. All right, references. You guys know what 3-level deep is? If you're not going 3-level deep, you're making a big, big mistake. I have not hired people once I got to the 3rd level. I was hiring them on the 1st level. 2nd level, I was still in. 3rd level, no way. All right? And then 9, if you have other teams, they should meet with them. So there's going to be 3 or 4 meetings before you pull the trigger. And obviously, there's another point here I need to make. If you haven't interviewed a minimum of 10, you are doing yourself a disservice. Gary Keller talks about you're looking for that 1 in 100. It means you should have 99 interviews, and then you're going to hit the one you need. So remember, the more you interview, the better the assistant quality that you can hire. When you only interview 2, you're picking from 2. You interview 10, you're picking from 10. You interview 15, you're picking from 15. Remember, look at the applicants and see who you should bring in and meet. Now, on the last meeting, which could be meeting number 4, that's when I put the job description down and I go over it every single line. Then I put the schedule down, what the hours are, what the expectations are. How do you win with me? How do I win with you? How do you lose with me? Here's how you lose with me. And then I have the offer letter, which basically states their salary, the hours. I do pay them referral fee based on their friends and family. I know if they're not licensed, then you can't pay a referral fee. I get that. I wrote 2 books on this. So what you're going to do then, you can pay a bonus. Legally, you can pay a January bonus, February bonus. Just don't write down 25% on 123 Cherry Street on the check. You can pay a bonus. You can pay less than 25% and make them get licensed, which is my personal favorite. They must be licensed, in my opinion. I wouldn't hire anyone who is. I hire talent first, and then they get licensed in 90 days, and that's the bottom line. Job descriptions, go to the schedule, the offer letter. I also believe in bonuses, and I'll talk about that when we come up to the pay part. So if you have questions, put them in the chat box. Paige, is there any questions on what I covered so far? Because we'll go to the next screen.
Yes. So it looks like Amy asked about appearance. What about beards on men that look a little sloppy?
I'm not a beard lover. However, I know it's trending right now, whatever. If it's neatly groomed, then that's fine. If it's not, I would say to them, I have to be perfectly honest with you. And I hope you appreciate I'm coming from caring, and it's going to be a bit of candor here. Your neck needs to be shaved better if you're going to wear a beard. And you've got some hairs that are sticking out. I think your beard should be trimmed. I'm just giving you some advice, and I hope you see the value in that. So I tell them up front that, I got to be honest with you. Here's some things that I've noticed, and do you mind if I give you some personal advice? Your beard is sticking out. Your neck is full of hair. I'll tell them. And then, based on that, they go, oh, thanks for that, and then if they keep coming in sloppy, then that's a big challenge for me, a huge challenge, because we do have standards, and our standards is that we look professional at all times. I don't see bank presidents running around with scruffy beards, and I always say, I want you to look like a bank president, I want you to look like a CEO of a company, and there are not CEOs that I've seen, even, Mark Zuckerberg, whatever, with Facebook, he's clean shaven. So there you have it. Okay, next question.
What were the 2 questions to ask on the phone interview? The audio was cut out.
It was? Okay. Did I cut out?
It wasn't for me, but sometimes it cuts out. If you're using computer speakers, I highly recommend dialing in through a phone line.
Yeah, okay. So number 1, tell me about your job history. I can see it on your resume. I just want to hear from you. Tell me a little bit about your previous history and jobs. Number 2, okay, great. Describe the perfect career for you. If you could wave a magic wand, what's the perfect career for you? Okay, all right. What else, Paige? We've got another couple screens, so hang on there. Is there any more questions, Paige? Paige?
Sorry, I was muted.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. If you require your admin to get their license, have you lost them to opening their own business?
Okay. So, yeah, okay, the reason I laughed is that, the profile of an administrative person is not an entrepreneur, okay? And if you hire a high D that is a entrepreneur and wants to be an assistant or learn the business, yes, you're hiring your competition. In my 37-year career, I have never, ever, and I've coached more assistants and agents than anyone in the country. No one's coached more than me. And I can tell you, I've never heard of an assistant leaving and building a business. One, they usually don't have the wherewithal as far as the skills or the money or the backing to do it. Two, most assistants want to be an assistant. They want to be behind the scenes. They want to be behind the rainmaker. They don't want to go out and build a business. So the key thing about what you're missing is, the better question is, what does a licensed assistant do for me? Well, one, they can talk about price, terms, conditions. They can negotiate contracts. They can negotiate price reductions. And when you're out of town, somebody says, I want to list my house, they can go out and list the house. While you're out of town, if there's a contract that comes in, they can negotiate it and get signatures and ask. They can do repairs and negotiate repairs. So to me, it is valuable. They must be a license. I wouldn't have the liability in today's age of the land of the Sioux to have an assistant that wasn't licensed or getting licensed. Okay. Anything else, Paige, before I move on?
One more, and then we're going to move on. So is that 25% bonus for just referred deals or all deals?
Oh, well, no. I mean, well, first of all, okay, clarity. If I hire an assistant, Betty Lou, and Betty Lou's brother buys the property, and I've never heard of Betty Lou's brother. He's not in my database. It's her family and her friends, because she brought her database to me, and it's incorporated in mine, and I have a source that says her initials on there. She's going to get paid 25%. She does not get paid on referrals that come into the office randomly, or she does not get paid on referrals because it's her job to ask every listing and every pending. You know, our business is based on referrals. May I ask you, do you know anyone right now who could use our help? We need another great client like you. Now, those are the scripts I teach in the assistant training, all right? So they should be asking for referrals. That's part of their job. Okay, let's move the screen because I've got something really important to share here with you. All right, so here's the 30, 60, 90-day plan for an executive assistant. So Career Visioning, when they were putting the material together, had me look at what they had, and they go, oh, no, that's not going to work. We need to have something a little bit more reasonable. So this is what I would recommend. So people think within, 30 days that you have a completely trained assistant up and running. Absolutely not. Training is an ongoing process. You make that investment in training. Training is essential. You guys get all, excited and when you go to mega camp, you get excited when you go to family reunion, excited when you're in masterminds and doing different things, and we forget to educate the assistants. And the assistants, no matter if they've been in the business 10 years with you or 10 days or 10 minutes, training is essential, and you've got to have some guidelines. So, for example, if you look at the 30-day plan, one of the first things that I do in training is that I teach them about the phone and communication. It's the cash register. You pick up that phone, you have a smile on your face, and you're excited. You're excited about the business. You're excited about who's on the other line of that call. So if your average commission is $10,000, I teach them that that's a $10,000 phone call. I teach them to pick up that phone with enthusiasm. I teach them to absolutely know how to handle incoming calls, whether it's a buyer call, a seller call, even if they're not licensed, and it's a potential buyer or seller call and you're not there, handle the call. I give them the scripts to do that. So the phone is critical, and it's the basics to it, how to transfer a call, how to pick up the voicemails, how to answer a call when you're not there. I'm sorry, John's not available right now. He's with clients. Maybe you're lead generating. You're with clients. May I take a message? How can I help you immediately? That's what I love to hear. How can I help you immediately? I'm his professionally trained assistant. And I get them to learn how to keep pushing back to get what they need from that client, what they want, and handle it, all right? Now, the second thing that needs to be taught in that 30-day process is your database, your CRM. The CGI tools, all of those things would be fantastic to get under their belt. And hopefully they're coming with some computer skills. They have some working knowledge, and they start working on the database. Maybe you're doing the 33 touch. Maybe you're doing the 8x8. Maybe you're doing a video that goes out once a month. Those are the things that they need to get into place. Your database is your main only asset. If you're not reaching your goals right now, you didn't take enough listings, per Gary Keller and Diana Kokoska. If you didn't take enough listings, you don't have enough database. That's per Gary Keller and Diana Kokoska. So remember, it's a very simple process. So the phone is first, the database is second, and then you go to listings. And they need to learn the listings. They need to learn the pre-list package, put that together for you. The listing file, putting that together. Now, some of you are going to be blown away, but I teach them, and I'm going to share with you, is that you need to have your assistant call your listings every single day. Now, some of you are going to get turned off on that and go, well, what do they say? I have the scripts. I have 21 days of scripts for them. And it is called customer service over the top. No one will fire you and say, you guys call too much, we're canceling the listing. It's usually the other way. What's happening? We haven't heard from you. What's going on? What about this showing? Now, I teach a lot of things. One of the things that I teach, too, that you guys should know is that I believe that the assistant should follow up on every showing and then call the seller and give them the unfiltered information. I don't believe in those online things, which are just easy little things to push off, and you're never going to get a right answer. I would never put a right answer in there, knowing it could come back and bite me if I ever wanted to list that property from that seller, if it expired. So number one question that I teach the assistants to say, thank you for showing John's listing. We so appreciate it. I just need 1 minute of your time. Could you answer these quick questions for me? Number one, is your buyer going to write an offer? No. Thank you. Number two, what would it take for your buyer to write an offer? They love the house. They hate the location. It's too close to the freeway. They're not living near the freeway. They've done that before. Okay, now that's an answer I can't really solve. Thank you. Third question, what do you think the house will sell for? Oh, it's $20,000 overpriced. Thank you for your time. Now, ... I'm giving you lots of information here, Jeff. Jeff asked if I was going to give him stuff. Watch this one. I train the assistants every time you have a showing that's not a Keller Williams agent to put a spreadsheet together. You're going to call that agent and try to recruit them. Not try. You're going to recruit them by saying, hey, thanks for showing my property. That's awesome. I just want to say thank you. And, hey, Keller Williams is on the move. Would you spend 5 minutes on a phone call with my team leader? They would love to talk to you. I told them all about you. Recruit. We're at 170,000 agents. We're going to be at 250 plus in the next 3 to 4 years. Get your share. But I teach the assistants to do that, and hopefully you're putting the assistant in your downline and you're building their downline. Just another little bonus there to think about. Now, I believe that the listings are absolutely the gateway to repeat and referral business, all right? That's the beginning. And so if they learn all the things like how to put up an open house, the Facebook, the marketing, asking for referrals, asking for reviews, I give them all the scripts for that in the training, the seller feedback, we talked about that. That's all great. Now, don't go past that unless that you've hired someone who has had some experience. Get that underway. The next 30 days, you're going to go through the closings. Now, this is what I call the dessert. This is where you cement the repeat and referral. You could have sold that house for $55,000 over ask appraisal, and then it gets screwed up at the closing. You'll never hear from these people again, and they'll go tell 100 people how bad you and your team are. So the closing is critical. Again, I give them the scripts, and we do a thing called pass the baton on the listing and pass the baton on the 90 days, on the closings. So let me go back to pass the baton on the listing. You should never, as an agent, throw the file down and say, hey, get it on the market. They're ready to sell. Did you tell them that they're going through a divorce? Did you tell them that the wife is really mad? This is their dream house. Did you tell them that be sensitive, there's a brand new baby? Did you tell them? Did you tell them? Did you tell them? So that they don't walk in there and go, hey, thanks for working with us. We're so excited to get your home sold. You don't go into a call like that when there is a death in the family, or there's a hardship, or there's a divorce, somebody's sick. You don't do that. You have to know how to tone it down. And that's why that pass the baton is, who are these people? Oh, by the way, they have a dog named Tank. And Tank has his own bedroom. And Tank watches TV on his own couch with him at night. Now, that's their only kid is Tank, a 250-pound Rottweiler. Customer service is your assistant saying, are there any pets on the premise? Customer experience is, oh my gosh, John told me about your family member, Tank. He sounds like a cool guy. Love to meet Tank sometime. That's customer experience, and I teach them the difference on that, and that's critical. All right, so on the next 60 days, you're looking at this and you're going, oh my gosh, okay, now it's the closing file checklist, it's the closing file, it's all of that, it's the repairs. I have whiteboards that I give you examples of that absolutely prevent anything from. I also teach them, if California, we have 21 days of contingencies, my staff is trained to get the contingencies off in 7 days. Train your assistant to cut the time in half and get it going, get it done. You want those contingencies removed as fast as possible. The other thing in the second 60 days is that you start introducing them to tracking all the numbers and sources of business and really digging into that CGI with the pipeline and the lore reports. And if that's all foreign to you, you need to get on there with your team leader and learn that. Those are critical reports that will help your business go forward. You know, the key thing about all of this too is that, you know, when you look at this, and most agents want all of that done in the first 2 weeks, it's not going to happen. So the slower you go, and remember, I had no assistants who can do the 90 days in 30 days. They come from experience. They have that aptitude where they can jump on it, figure it out, and get it going. In most cases, you want to take your time and get a good, strong basis on each one of these. That doesn't mean on day 30, on the first 30 days, that they're not sending out an expired letter for you. That'd be under marketing. That doesn't mean that you don't have them start tracking your numbers. And the first 30 days, there's 3 reports that I always recommend. One's called the Friday report. A Friday report is this. Every single Friday, I get a Friday report from my assistant. 5 things I did to move the business forward. Week high, week low. So what was the week high? What were you excited about? What happened that you were not too happy about? And then how did you wow a customer? There's not one agent on this call who would not think that that was a cool report to get on Friday. Number 2 report I get on Friday, put in my chair, don't put it on my desk. I want to see it. Number 2 is the pending report. Name, address, phone number, price that it's going to close for, date that it's going to close for. That way I can call those. I have a handle on it. It's got sellers and buyers. You know, second report, Excel spreadsheet I get is listings. Name, address, phone number, listing date, expiration date, price reduction date, current price, list price. I've got it all there, and then I can call them as needed. So with that said, then my assistant on the listing report checks off in red the ones that are 3 weeks ready to expire, or she'll circle yellow the ones that need price reductions, meaning they've been on the market more than 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Yes, 2 weeks and we get price reductions. That's what I teach your assistants. So with that said then, when you look at the end there on the 90-day goals, it's all the marketing should be up to speed with them, the listings, the pendings, the database, phone and scripts. Hopefully you're role-playing. You've got scripts. If not, you're going to join the assistant class. Tracking numbers weekly. The 15th protocol of the month, meaning that on the 15th of the month, if you're not halfway to your goals by the 15th of the month for the monthly goals, then your assistant is pointing that out, and she's got it all together with you on your numbers. She's giving you numbers weekly. And then obviously there'll be some lead generation stuff going in place. All right, I have a few more things, but I want to break here first and see, Paige, what questions do we have?
Okay, so we have the question, can we please have the PDF for the 30, 60, 90 plan? Is there a way we could send that out, or?
Well, tell you what, just email me at monica@monicareynolds.com, and I'll have my assistant send it out. So monica@monicareynolds.com. And then, of course, there's always this. You could join the assistant program on October 4th. And let me mention real quick, and then I'll answer another question, because I know I had a question earlier. The class starts October 4th, which is next Tuesday. Is that right? Or Wednesday? Which one? Wednesday, sorry, Wednesday. And that class, the first class of every month, is for the agent, teaching you what I'm going to teach them so you can help them be accountable. Plus, I'm going to teach you to be a great leader and boss. So 1 call per month is for you. The second and third call, each are an hour, and they are live calls. They are not recorded. They are live. People can ask me questions, talk to me, that sort of thing. They are live calls. They are recorded in case the assistant missed or you want to go back and listen to some of those. They also get a 450-page office policy and procedures manual. You're going to get a blueprint on how to build a great, duplicatable, and scalable business. Whether you're doing 25 deals or 425 or 1,025, these systems all work. All the mega agents have always put their assistants through. We have mega agents that just sign up every single time, and they put every single assistant on over and over and over again. The material changes are based on, what's going on in the market, et cetera, so they are live calls. Okay, what's another question, Ms. Page?
Are you going to go over teaching them paperwork and compliance?
Well, what state are you in would be number one. What market center are you in? There's 732 market centers. So my state in California is different, and my market center is different. I don't go over that. That's your MCA's job on green sheets and compliance. I can't get into legal issues statewide.
Right. Where is the link to sign up? I have posted the link to sign up in the chat box. You can just click that link. A discount code has already been applied. So then someone asked, what is the cost of the program and how long is the program?
Okay, so thank you for that question. In 1990, I started the first assistant program, and it was $195 a month. It is $195 a month, 2017. I have asked Diana Kokoska many times, could we just change the price a little bit? No. We want this to be one of the most valuable things that no one says no to. So the price is the same as it was 27 years ago. And the good news is that they're live calls. You'll get 450 pages of a policy and procedures manual, and the calls are recorded. You can go back and listen to them with your assistant. They're great, great training. The key thing is that, and I respect, I'm not going to teach you compliance and things like that. I've got systems to build a duplicatable and scalable business. If you're at 50 transactions, how do you get to 150? The systems I give you are good for 50, 25. I've got people that are doing 1,800 transactions a year that are using these same systems. It's great. All right, what's next?
Okay. How long is the course? It's a 6-month program.
Yes, it is 6 months, and there's 3 calls per month.
Yeah. Does it make sense to take this course before you hire an assistant?
Yes, it makes perfect sense to take this course before you hire an assistant, because now you're going to get the hiring process. You're going to get all the systems in place. You may not have the time or want to implement. I'm not an implementer. I have great ideas, and then I have people that go make it happen. And so you may not have the time. So you want to take the course because now you know what to delegate and you know exactly what you want. So about 25 to 30% of my calls, the attendees are people who don't have an assistant, and sometimes during the course of the call, they will hire someone maybe 3-4 months out from now, and that assistant can go back and listen to all the calls and get caught up. So that's what's great about that. And then they're archived for about 30, 40 days after the calls end 6 months from now. So you have about 7.5 months to get those calls.
Great. You mentioned 3 things on Friday. 1, the Friday reports. 2, the pending reports on your chair. And then what was number 3?
The listing report, name, address, phone number, date it was listed, current price, price reduction date, original price, but also expiration date.
Great. Let me see. Let's go down. What was Monica's email address for the PDFs? That is monica@monicareynolds.com.
Yeah, I make it simple. Imagine that. That's what I do with this class. I make it simple. One of the first calls is on communication, and I talk a lot about personality styles and how an assistant, if you hire a high I assistant, You can't have them call a D like me and say, "Hi, Monica, how's your day? What's going on?" Don't ask me about my day. I don't want to tell you about my day. It's none of your business. So when they're talking to a D and I teach them how to differentiate, you're going to say, "Hi, Monica, I know you're super busy. This will take 1 minute. I have one question for you." Great. What is it? That's how you talk to a D. And so if they're speaking Spanish, you speak Spanish. They speak D, you speak D. If they speak C, you better know how to speak C. And cross your T's, dot your I's, and have all the facts and figures. Okay? Go ahead. Anything else?
Okay. Yes. So Lakita asked, these classes are geared towards how to hire a great assistant, or is it geared towards business coaching? I'm not clear on that.
Okay. So if you look what to expect, customer service scripts, 75 critical activities, 50 excellent customer service letters. I'm not teaching you how to hire. There is one call on how to hire, one call out of 18. The rest are systems. These are business systems. So do you have a customer service system? Do you have a letter library? Do you have pass the baton? Do you have a honeymoon checklist where you're talking to that listing and that closing for the first 3 weeks, absolutely every day, asking for a repeat and asking for referrals, asking for reviews, giving them updates? These are systems that I've put into place. I have lead generation systems from expired letters to for sale by owner letters, pre-list package, buyer systems, buyer agent systems. I've got it all. Every single system you may want is in this class. It's a blueprint. You're going to have to tailor it for your area in some regards, but you name it, I've got it. When you go ready to fire an assistant, I got how to fire correctly and not get yourself in court. I got a corrective conversation for you. I've got all of that is laid out in this course. So one call out of 18 is how to hire. You need to go to career visioning, and then I enhance what you would do at career visioning.
Great. So Carol asked, currently as the listing agent, I call each week. Adding a real estate assistant to my team, how often do you continue to call the client when the assistant is calling them every day?
Awesome question. Thank you for that. Okay. When you have a real estate assistant, they're going to say, as part of our customer service, Jane and I will be calling you often. You never say, I'm going to call you every day. I teach the script's in the course, because there's be days you miss. Now, as a real estate agent, you should call once a week. As a real estate agent on the pendings and on the listings, you should call once a week. I teach you as an agent, never answer the question, well, what about this on the file? And what about that? And this. Even if you know the answer, control your ego and say, Betty's got the file in front of her. Let me pass the call over to Betty right now. Don't answer any questions if you happen to pick up the phone or you get caught, and they're asking you about the file. You let your assistant do her job. It undermines their job, plus it looks like you two don't know what's going on with each other. So those are some key things that I teach on the agent calls. What's next?
Okay. Will my assistant be given, someone else coming. Will my assistant be given step-by-step homework on things to do to progress their training?
Yes, they get 3 homework assignments every week. However, I'm in San Diego. I'm not coming to look over her shoulder to see she did it. I am not the magic pill. I'm a good pill, but I'm not magical. However, I train you on the call to know that I give 3 homework assignments every week. I train them that they must get those done and show it to you. However, you have to ask for it. Too many times assistants say to me, the agent never showed up on any calls. The agent never asked me what I was doing. The agent never looked at the book. They'd put the book down in front of them, 450 pages, the agent wouldn't even open it up. So don't be one of those guys that you're going to just delegate it off and think that I'm the magic pill. I'm a great education pill. I'm a great systems person. I will absolutely make your assistant feel great, because I believe that they are the secret weapon. They are the #1 thing that changed this industry. Not the computer, not the telephone. They were all great. It is absolutely the assistant is the secret weapon. So I'm always on their side, and I need you to support them also and respect who they are and care that you want to know what they're learning. You're paying for it. Get involved also. Okay?
Okay. Josh asks, my MAPS coach highly recommended I take the next and closest career visioning class. So I'm taking the one in Austin, Texas, November 8th through 10th, and then Bold starts in October, along with the Perfect Real Estate Assistant. Is this a good idea to do so much at once?
Well, here's the answer to that. The assistant class is 1 hour for you, the agent, a month. If your systems need to be ramped up for 2018, which I think that they would be a good idea, this is a perfect time to join a class. And my personal opinion is that education is key. Yes, you're going to career visioning a couple of days. Yes, you have a day obligation with Bold. I highly recommend you join the assistant program. Get ready for 2018. Sounds like a great combination.
Great. Okay, so that's about all the questions, unless someone has anything else. Monica, is there anything else you'd like to share? Just last mention, you can sign up today and receive $100 off of your last payment with that code, MEGA17. I've posted the link in the chat. If you don't see it, email me at fasttrack@kw.com, and I can send you that link right away. And yeah, Monica, anything else?
Yeah, no, I just really, just want to say, make the investment in your future for yourself, for your family, for your team, for your assistant, and most importantly, for your clients. When you have great systems that are duplicatable and scalable, and you put those systems into place, it makes such a big difference on that repeat and referral business. The client experience is ultimately what you're looking for when you're building a business. And so my thoughts to you are, this is my one thing. I absolutely will teach your assistant to be an awesome, over-the-top, great assistant. You'll get great systems. And I look forward to talking to you on the calls. They are live calls again, so sign up. It'll be one of the best investments you've made. I hear it all the time. So thanks, everyone, for being on the call. I appreciate your time, and go have an awesome week, and hope to see you next week on the call on Wednesday. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.